What's up, everybody? It is Matt from ElectricAllWheel, back from tropical storm, hurricane, floodwater, Debbie. Don't know if you saw that, but we got washed out, and it was pretty awful. All things considered, decent outcome. Glad it wasn't a high-intensity storm. We actually fare better around here when it's less rain, high wind because of the flooding situation. We got a ton of rain during all that, 12 plus inches. It was nuts. That being said, we are back at it. We have the AIPAS M2 750 watt rear hub 48 volt system. We have already added a dual battery setup. It is inside this bike case cell phone bag here strapped to the bike. But what I want to do in this video is we're going to show you my preferred accessory additions, and that will be the thumb throttle with the grips. We're going to bring up the stem with an extension, very easy install, and then we are going to do the suspension seat with a Cloud9, yes, suspension seat as well. So we're going to do suspension seat post and suspension seat. We like the combination of the two. It's really, really kind on my bum, and I appreciate that ride. Makes me feel like I'm in one of the older Cadillacs where you're just floating. So I definitely prefer that over the jarring bumps of a hardtail, and without a suspension seat post, you just can't beat it. We chose Bike Case because of their testing standards. We really like the brand, as you know. Anything that we put on here in the video or anything that you see will likely be linked in the description below. And if you don't see it and you have any questions, email me, electricallwheel@gmail.com. If you haven't already, give us a like and subscribe on YouTube. It is our primary. And if you're in the area, check out E-Bikes of Tampa Bay, Florida. Listen, you got to get in the group and make an event. Go for a ride with your e-bike friends. Let's get to it. So we are just going to put a simple extender on here. We're not going to get crazy. You can do the flexi stem. You just need to watch out for the length on your cables and make sure that you don't overextend them, because you don't want them stretching as the bike is turning. All right, this is a Wake stem extender. We'll leave a link in the description below. Very simple, very easy. We're just going to get a little bit more height out of this. For me, I'm 6'2". I prefer the higher handlebars, and that helps me keep my back straight while riding, and then it's supplemented by the suspension seat post. Just going to go ahead and loosen this. And I'll loosen these side screws. I'll take this one out. Now, this does come with its own, and I'm just going to use this stem cap for it. So keep that in mind. You want to keep your parts and pieces, but you have some spacers, your cap, and then the extended bolt for this thing. So we're good to go. So carefully lift this off. I'm going to set it to the side. From here, don't lift up on your bike. Don't do any of that craziness. Just leave it as is and get this thing on here. So I like to make sure my alignment is straight. And then when I look at that, I'm going to keep this line right down the middle here on the crossbar. That's for all of the OCD people out there. The functionality won't change much, but you just want it looking uniform. So I'm not tightening this up all the way. Just kind of getting it on there, getting it ready. Now I'm going to bring my handlebars back. And so straight away, my first line of tension is the headlight. So I know that I'm going to need to release that a bit out of this cable wrap up front. And that looks to do the job. And then I have probably too much space in here. I think I could probably take out a spacer and still have enough of a gap between the extension and what I need on my stem. So I'm going to do that. So that's one ring. And I think that I'm probably just going to leave it at that spacing right there. I'm going to take my bolt, and this goes into the star nut, and the star nut is, yes, that is it right there. And so we're going full depth on this thing, so just got to keep in mind that that's where it's at. Also, keep in mind that a star nut may be off center, so your main focus when you're putting this bolt in is just making sure that it loosely threads appropriately and you're not stripping anything. It may go in a little offset, but that's because you're dealing with the length of the new bolt that's going in and then an offset star nut when it was installed. Not a terrible situation, just make sure that you're threaded appropriately. So when I do this, I just try and get it finger tight as much as I can so I know that it's in there right. So now I'm starting to pay attention to my alignment. I want everything straight, display right off the front of the tire, the middle tread running right down the middle of the display, running right down the middle of this line, running right down the middle of the crossbar. So that was the stem extender. Now I'm coming up to the stem. Feels like everything is tight. Make sure you put your cap back in. So we have a nice line, everything is centered right here, and then I centered through display, and then right down the middle of the alignment for the front wheel. Now, we're on to the grips. Now I know a lot of people take a razor blade and just slice these things and peel them off, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to brute force them, and that way I can reuse them if necessary. I'm also going to have to undo this cable wrap up front real quick to get the cable for the half grip twist throttle loose. So now there's a little hex head screw that is on the backside of this half grip twist throttle that you're going to have to take loose. I do not suggest backing it all the way out, just get it loose enough to remove the throttle itself. That's it. Unplug it. Now there's a little plastic cap here, so keep that in mind when you're pulling it off. Don't lose that. Now, it may be required that you scoot this handlebar gear over so that you have enough space for your grip and your thumb throttle. We'll check that out when we test. So we're just going to take our kit, Now the kit comes with an extension cable that's not necessary. This is going to be plug and play at the handlebars, so you're just going to take out your throttle, and then you're also going to need your grips. So I'm just going to slip that on there. And it looks like this is going to be perfect. I don't need to move any of this over, so that's really good. See if this will slip on or if I need to loosen it up. Looks like I got to loosen it up. So then I'm just running it right to the edge so it's flush here on the cap end. Get these moderately tight and come back and finish the job once I get everything seated. And so the throttle has this screw. Now when you put it on there, you want to get your hands on the handlebars and just see what feels comfortable at rest, where there is no pressure on the throttle. And I like it where I'm not bringing my thumb up. I want it to just kind of rest on the throttle, and then when I press down, where's it going to go? Also, for a lot of bikes, you need to check underneath for clearance. This won't work with trigger shifts, etc. This throttle is specially wired for electric, and it works with AIPAS as well. Go ahead and tighten that screw. Perfect. I'm going to take my end and go ahead and plug it in. Just make sure you line up the arrows that are on the outside of these things. Just point them at each other, and then make sure you don't mess with or don't ruin the wire ends, the prongs inside it. And go ahead and get my second grip on there. And I'll tighten that in the same way. Make sure that it fits well, so your grip and the way you're holding on to your handlebars is working for you, and then tighten it up. And then last but not least, the seat. So I'm just going to go ahead and loosen the lever and pull this out. To remove this seat from this seat post, you're going to want to just loosen this screw. It has this nut, which is up here, and it helps to tighten this, and it allows the flexing or the rotation so you can point the seat forward or back, so just depending on how you like it. We're not going to use this seat. We've already got our stuff prepped. What you will notice is that this is a 30.4 millimeter diameter seat post, and that's important. We do have our bike case suspension seat post, and we really like this. We're super happy that we've got it. And then we have the C9 with suspension on it as well. But the key here is the 27.2 to 30.4 diameter, outside diameter shim, and this just drops in like so, because this is a 27.2 suspension seat post. Not a big deal, you just need the shim to make sure that it fits, and this gives a little bit of a universal aspect to the bike case products. So we have this in here. Keep in mind that if you're going to tighten it up, there are 2 points to get this, and it's 15 to 18 Newton meters. If you have torque wrench, I generally just do it by hand, just get it nice and tight. You will loosen these and you'll feel like some alligator teeth that will keep it from moving, and then when you seat it, it will sit properly and then make sure that it stays in position. So there are 2 to this one instead of the 1 that you see, and then you can see it's a pretty elaborate, it works very well. You'll take this whole screw will come off. Make sure you hold on to the spring and then just put it back on the same way you got it off. It's a very easy setup. Make sure you're aligned on your rails just the way you want to be, and then get it in. Some of this is really going to have to be adjusted once you get the seat on and you sit on it and test it out. So from there, you'll just tighten it down, and then you would loosen this one and loosen on the back side, and then push your seat one way or the other to get it going. So PAS 1, thumb throttle in my hand. Perfect. You're happy with that? I'm going to go ahead and get these cable wraps buttoned up, and then we're going to sign off. All right. A trick of the trade is to double up your wires so you can get them within the wrap. So keep that in mind, and that will just help you to secure it. There is a variable length to this throttle, and it's done so it will match the bikes, a lot of the bikes, especially the folders. This will work on other AIPAS bikes. We have successfully installed the electric all-wheel thumb throttle kit on the AIPAS M2. We have successfully installed the bike case bump stop seat post with the 30.4 millimeter shim with the C9 seat as well, and it has suspension. All you haters that are going to say this in the comments, you already let it out before. Just go ahead and get it out now, because I like it, and that's all that matters. If you guys want to follow this route, please do. I promise you will not be disappointed. Keep in mind that these springs will get in the way if you have something large on your rear rack, so you want to keep that in mind, because the seat post will flex and it will move. So you need that travel room to make sure that you're not obstructing anything or going to ruin anything. Just be aware. We're really liking the height on this. You can see that it gives me a more upright feel, which I'm very happy about. This is what I want in all my bikes. My daily rider switches between aerial rider Kepler, Grizzly, and I also have a wired cruiser coming, moving towards an E-Cells, but I know there's some kind of rift between them, so I just don't want to get involved until that's time. There's a lot of people that have been asking about AIPAS. AIPAS has done a very large marketing promotion, and there are a lot of people getting into these bikes, so I wanted to get this video out there to let them know that it's possible, because they look at the Electric X Peak videos and are like, can I do that on my bike? So I'm saying, yes, you can. Here's your proof. It does work. Thumb throttle works. The kit comes with grips, so you don't have to worry about that. It's plug and play. You don't use the extension. We are going to leave links for everything in the video in the description below. If you haven't already, give us a like and subscribe on YouTube. It is our primary. And guys, if you're in the area, check out e-bikes of Tampa Bay, Florida. Get in the Facebook group. You got to make an event so you can go on these rides. So get in the Facebook group, show off your bikes, show us some pictures, tell us where you're from, tell us your favorite place to ride, make the event, and get out there with your e-bike friends. Check the video for the dual battery installation. We may or may not do a 52-volt job on this bike. We're not real sure. It was successful on the X-Peak, so we have high hopes that it'll work here. We just don't really want to get into the controller exchange if something goes wrong with AIPAS. If there's somebody out there that's adventurous and has already tried, reach out to us at ElectricAllWheel.com. We would love to hear from you, and if you can't get us there, email us at electricallwheel@gmail.com. We will talk to you next time.